Hey, John.
Good evening, Eric. How you doing?
I am good. Good morning to you. Bright and early.
Yes. I definitely have not been waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning for the last week. When we recorded last week, we were pretty close to the beginning of our trip. So yeah,
Yeah.
my sleep schedule was quite messed up. At this point, I have much better adapted, but definitely not to work hours.
Oh, wait till you come home this weekend. You
Yeah,
mess it all up again.
yeah, exactly. Well, I did. So we fly home Sunday, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a long flight. Like total duration
Yeah.
is 20 hours, I think. And it's not all one flight, obviously. Actually, we're on three flights. We fly to someplace in Spain, Madrid, I think,
Madrid?
and then to North Carolina, and then to Portland. So it's going to
Okay.
be and you got like 2 hours of between flights in each of those
Right.
places, and then
Right.
our whole
Customs, all that good stuff.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, but I guess the point is I did take Monday off as well. So my intention is to kind of take
Smart.
Monday really easy and try and start dealing with email a little bit, kind of on the side, whenever I'm
Right.
conscious. So we'll see. We'll see how if that plan
All right.
works. But that's my plan.
All
I
right.
gotta have a plan. So, well, how has this week been for you?
Pretty nothing exciting going on this week. It's been warm outside still, so not a whole lot of outside stuff. We have some friends who are moving to Seattle, so we had a housewarming or house cooling. What do you call it when someone leaves? They're not showing up. They're leaving now. A going away party. And not a whole lot else. Uh, Stuff around the house. I went and changed out a bunch of wasp traps. I stained my patio furniture, pressure
Oh,
washed it and then stained it again. Well, not stained it, technically oiled it, I guess is the right term because
okay.
it's teak. And
Teak.
so applied teak oil. Yeah. So it's just been nothing exciting to
Just
share.
hunkered down doing errands and keeping
Yeah.
keeping everything functional.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's cool. The opposite for
Nothing
us.
is as exciting as what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We've every day's an adventure. Every day's you're like I've learned a lot more about the Austrian ruling dynasties from museums and art
Mm-hmm.
galleries and little plaques that
Right.
we've been reading everywhere. So both
Nice.
in Prague and in Vienna. So
Mm-hmm.
last Monday, I guess, so just a couple days ago, we transitioned. We took the train from Prague to Vienna, which was a great train ride. It was awesome. Probably helped that I got us first class tickets because I was looking at the I don't know why the price for first class at the 12:55 train was like two-thirds the price of regular for the train before and after it. And
Mm.
I was like, okay, as far as I'm aware, we weren't
Yeah.
under any sort of time constraints. So I'll take that one, please.
Easy.
Um,
Yeah.
and and so the seats were nice, and we had one of those little things where it was just two seats, one faced forward and one faced to the side with a little table right next to the window. Because when I got the tickets and they both said window seats, I was like, that seems weird. How do we both have window seats? I guess I didn't even really think about that. So anyway, that was it was about a 4 hour train ride. So they definitely, stopped at, I think, three or four places, but that was lovely.
Right.
And then, since we've been in Vienna, we've gone to basically two art galleries slash museums and the big Schönbrunn Palace and gardens, which were just ridiculously huge and awe-inspiring, I guess. It says it's the most visited place in Vienna, tourist place.
So getting your steps in, I
Oh
take it.
yeah, every day. Although it's kind of weird. Yeah. Yes, we're getting not quite a Disneyland day worth of steps every day, but definitely getting our steps in. And then and then yesterday we
Nice.
got to go to the Spanish riding school. Although the horses, which so they that is a equestrian facility slash school that's been in existence here for, I think she said, 460 years, literally in downtown city
Wow.
or downtown Vienna. And I had gotten tickets before we left Portland,
Right.
but I didn't know where it was. And it turns out that since it is so close to the downtown area, it's like 4 blocks away from us. So I
Oh,
was
nice.
assuming we would be Ubering out into the
Walk.
countryside or out somewhere, and no, it's
Right.
right downtown. Anyway, very cool
Nice.
stuff. So got another couple days, and then we head home.
Okay.
So gonna be
All right. Well, enjoy your last few days. How about some topics?
well. I threw one thing into follow up, which
Okay.
was in a couple of episodes ago in 339 we talked about the snowflake breach of Ticketmaster, and
Yep.
and we did some brief follow up. So I think the first time we talked about it, we didn't quite know how big the breach was, and then we talked in a couple episodes later, just 341, that there had been a whole number of companies impacted, but Ticketmaster was still kind of the headline company. There has been some fallout from Ticketmaster losing all its data, and that's that the actors have released, or some actors have released, tens of thousands of tickets, barcodes that will get you into concerts that Ticketmaster hasn't yet responded with what they're going to do, whether they're going to try and contact and reissue or what.
Right. Resell those online, and the person who buys them doesn't know it's fake. So, and
Correct.
it'll get them in if they beat the other person in,
Correct.
the original owner in, kind of thing.
Correct.
Mm.
So it says that,
No bueno.
yeah, Ticketmaster's first response was that the data is not useful because their anti-fraud measures constantly rotate to unique mobile barcodes. And then, but the name of the group who did this is called
Operative word mobile.
Spider Hunters. Yeah, right. I mean, parse companies' language carefully.
Mm-hmm.
So Spider Hunters is the group responsible, said that numerous print-at-home tickets were stolen whose barcodes can't be rotated. Their quote was, "Ticketmaster lies to the
Yeah,
public."
we're not Harry Potter newspaper yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't rotate something somebody has printed. So they said that the tickets database included both online and physical ticket types. So the online clearly was just maybe ephemeral, but a physical ticket type would can't be modified. So the physical ticket types are ticket fast, e-ticket, and mail, and those are what the
Mm-hmm.
people can print. They released 38,000 ticket fast tickets, which is what Ticketmaster's print at home solution does. And then they also included a guide for converting the leaked ticket data into a barcode that can be used to basically create your own ticket fast print at home templates. So Ticketmaster, like I said, Ticketmaster hasn't responded yet. Presumably, they're going to have to do more than they had planned initially and reissue all tickets that were in the breach.
Right. Seems like it.
So, yeah, there will be more to come, I'm sure, on this one.
Mm-hmm.
How about your topic?
All right.
I see what you put in here, and
So
yes, I got my letter
yeah,
too.
you actually posted this one, and I got my letter in the mail. So AT&T says criminals stole phone records of nearly all, in quotes, customers in a new data breach. New being relative because the breach occurred between May 2022 and October 2022, which in terms of time, I don't see that as new. It's all relative, I suppose. But AT&T confirmed that it will begin notifying millions of customers about a fresh data breach that allowed cyber criminals to steal the phone records of nearly all of its customers. So there you go. AT&T is also wants everyone to know that it did not contain the content of phone calls or the content of text messages, but it does include the calling and texting records of that phone number and who you interacted with during that 6-month period, as well as the total count of customers' calls, texts, and duration, etc., often referred to as metadata.
Yeah.
So the stolen data apparently doesn't include time or date of the calls, just numbers. Some, and it doesn't give it doesn't quantify some. It just says some of the stolen records include cell site identification numbers with the phone and text messages, which can be used to determine approximate location of where the call was made or the text message was sent from. So apparently, all in all, AT&T is notifying 110 million customers about the breach. So effectively, if you are an AT&T customer, which you and I both are, check your email, spam folder, whatever, it's there. Or not, because I will read you exactly what it says. The email says. It's not very interesting. It's very, what's the right word? Corporate? Very stale? Very
full of data, not super helpful.
No. So, and it's not even, they didn't even run it through a macro to personalize it. It just says, hello, comma. We are reaching out to let you know that some of your data was accessed without authorization. Although we have no current indication of any public release or illegal use of your data, we respect the privacy of your information. Of course you do. Sorry, that was me.
Privacy is very important
and
to
want
us.
to provide you with details about the event. The number included the data attached to your account at the time ended in, and then it lists out the last 4 digits of 6 phone numbers, apparently, that are attached to my account.
Interesting.
What happened? Well, I know one of them is from, there was a short time when I had a Apple Watch that I connected to AT&T.
Oh, right.
Which had a cell number. So I'm assuming that those numbers I don't recognize are that Apple Watch. So what happened? We found out AT&T call and text records were accessed by cyber criminals who have claimed responsibility for unlawful access to other companies in the past. At least one individual has since been arrested. What information was involved? The investigation indicates the data included the phone numbers of your call and text interactions from May 1st, 2022 to October 31st, 2022. It also included counts of those calls and texts and total call duration for specific days or months. The compromised data does not include the content of the calls or text messages, nor personal information such as social security numbers, birth dates, or financial information. It also does not include some typical information you see in your usage details, such as timestamps of calls or texts. What is AT&T doing? Protecting customer data is a top priority. We have confirmed the affected systems have been secured. We hold ourselves to high privacy standards and are always looking to improve our security practices. What can you do? It is always advisable to be careful when taking calls from numbers you do not recognize and stay alert to any fraud or theft attempts. For more information and details about about the information that was accessed, go to att.com/data incident. For additional tips, blah, 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 go to CyberAware. We apologize for any inconvenience and remain committed to protecting the information in our care. AT&T. Not sincerely, not it. Just very
AT&T. Brusque.
Yeah, we're done here. We're done here.
Right.
So there you go. Your call data, which is hilarious because I should have brought it. I got a data breach letter in the mail. Oh, it was the Ticket-master one. That's what I was going to say. I got a Ticket-master letter in the mail that is, they're offering me, 1 year of free credit monitoring or something if I punch in a code. So I got 2 data breach notices this week. AT&T and Ticket-master.
And you got the Ticket-master one. Okay. Interesting.
I did get a Ticketmaster, so it might be in your mailbox when you get home.
It could be. I mean, we had our mail held, so it should be showing up on the Monday or Tuesday we get back. Hopefully.
There you go.
I I feel like I've tried to have mail held in the past and it never successfully processes. So or
Hmm.
it's not like I do it all the time, so I don't have like a lot of data points.
We use that feature quite a bit. We have been very successful with the little USPS app and having it hold your data inside the app. And so, a second data point, it has always been successful for me,
Okay. Okay.
and we
And
do
it
it
sounds
quite
like
a bit.
you're a more frequent user of it. So, well, that's good
Yep.
because I don't think our farm sitter is checking our mail. So, we'll see.
Alrighty. What did you pull out in the midst of all your visits to museums and historical sites?
Well, I did very little work and reading lately. I did see the AT&T thing. I also, I guess the other thing I did was I saw this. I saw this last night, and then, but I it was pretty late, so I haven't actually double checked on my own stuff. But I thought that this was both potentially interesting and then also personally impactful, maybe to both of us, because I feel like I know I've got a couple of Google domains, and Squarespace
Uh
bought
huh.
Google domains or bought the rights to
Yes.
process the customers for Google domains a couple of years ago.
Mm.
So the article I'll post is a Krebs article that is detailing how Squarespace did a poor job security wise of enabling management of those transferred domains. And specifically, if you didn't and or don't have a Squarespace account,
Oh
they did
no.
a poor job of verification of enable your account. And basically, what it
Uh
sounds
huh.
like from the article is if you put in a domain and you don't have a Squarespace account, they assumed that you would log in with Google instead of log in with email. Because if you did log in with
Right.
email, you could put in any email address and basically take over the domain, become the administrator of it, because they would send you
Oh
a set up your
yeah.
account link and they'd verify the email that you put
Right.
in was correct, but you put somebody else, you put your own email in to manage somebody else's domain. So
Mm.
so there were a number of domains that were basically captured, although it says the Squarespace domain hijacks, which took place between July 9th and July 12th, appear to have mostly targeted cryptocurrency businesses, including Sealer Network, Compound Finance, Pedal Finance, and Unstoppable domains. In some cases, the attackers were able to redirect the hijacked domains to phishing sites set up to steal visitors' cryptocurrency funds. Of course, right? One
Oof.
of the
Yeah.
targeted things. So I thought this was both a warning to me that I need to go in and make sure that I'm squared away, and also heads up to you, as well as being an interesting
Yeah.
topic because it was a big deal. Well, it was a impactful thing that Google basically sold all of their Google domains management to Squarespace.
Right.
Let's see another quote here. Well, here's the sort of official description of this. It says Taylor Monahan, lead product manager at MetaMask, said Squarespace never accounted for the possibility a threat actor might sign up for an account using an email associated with the recently migrated domain before the legitimate email holder created the account themselves. There's nothing actually stopping them from trying to log in with an email, and since there's no password on the account, it just shoots them to the create password for your new account flow. And since the account is half initialized on the back end, they now have access to the domain in question. What's more, Squarespace did not require email verification for new accounts created with the password. There's a guide published, linked from the article here, for locking down your Squarespace user account, which is the first recommendation. And then
Mm-hmm.
the second is to essentially determine what emails have access to your Squarespace account. and that there's a comment that most teams don't realize that there are other accounts that even exist. So like there's this quote domain manager role that could have been
Right.
created, which gives access, kind of a backdoor access into your Google workspace. So then there's other instructions that say, let's see, it says if you bought Google Workspace via Google Domains, Squarespace is now your authorized reseller. This means that anyone with access to your Squarespace account also has a backdoor into your Google Workspace unless you explicitly disable it by following the instructions linked here, which you should do. It's easier to secure one account than two. So yeah, impact from the sort of poor security handling of the Google Domains registration transfer to Squarespace. So
While you were chatting, I just went and checked all mine. I did log in with my Google account to Squarespace,
to
so I think
Squarespace.
I dodged one. Although I have no cryptocurrency related accounts, so no one cares about me. All right.
All right. Well, I got to do the same thing. So there you go.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to go with a fun fact.
Okay.
It's something fun, but it's more of a fun
I
fact.
learned many fun facts in the last couple of weeks.
So this one is just something I didn't know, but this is about the space station.
Okay.
So the International Space Station showing signs of age. It was first launched between Russia and the US in 1998. Astronauts moved in 2000. Europe and Japan added some segments. Canada's provided robotic arms. And by the time NASA's shuttle retired in 2011, the station had grown to the size of a football field.
Wow.
I didn't realize it was that big.
I don't think I realized it was that big.
With a mass of nearly 1 million pounds.
Wow.
And so NASA has figured the station will last until about 2030. So, 6 more years ish. And the goal, according to this, the goal is for private companies to launch their own space stations between now and then. And then NASA will be a customer of a private company's space station.
Ooh.
And that strategy is already in place for station cargo and crew deliveries. I mean, that's how they're getting stuff up there today. They hop on SpaceX and fly up there now, since no more shuttles are getting up there. And the idea is it'll free up NASA to focus on Moon and Mars travel. So it says NASA could decide to extend the station's life if no commercial outposts are up there, but the aim is to have an overlap so that scientific research is not interrupted. So,
okay,
looks like we're going to have private company space stations up there soon. And you may ask yourself, why not bring it back to Earth? Apparently, NASA considered dismantling the space station and hauling the pieces back to Earth, or letting private companies salvage parts for their own planned outposts, but the station was never intended to be taken apart in orbit, according to NASA, and any such effort would be expensive and also risky to the astronauts who would handle the disassembly. And there's really no spacecraft big enough, like NASA's space shuttles, to bring anything back down. So that's pretty much the option. Is they have partnered with SpaceX to basically push it out of orbit and have it burn up in the atmosphere on the way back down. So that's the current plan. There is no go save stuff from it. It's at some point they're just going to say we're done, and it'll burn up on re-entry.
Try and do something where it'll hit in the Pacific or something like that.
I would hope
poor Australia.
They use math and science to solve that problem.
I don't know. It seems like the stuff's always coming down in Australia.
Yeah. Anyways, so there you go. Fun fact for today.
Okay, so my something fun. I think the link that we'll put in here is to a Massachusetts General press release. But I will say that the article that I read was, or one of the articles I read was in the New Yorker, but I couldn't find a non-paywall link that had any actual real information. Yeah. So the New Yorker article is way better than the press release, obviously, but this is to a novel treatment for brain cancer.
Mm.
It is a, I guess you pronounce it glioblastoma. And one of the things that the New Yorker article mentioned, was that this is a type of cancer that has not responded well to any other treatments. And the primary current means
Okay.
of treating it is it's very aggressive, very deadly, and the only treatment is essentially they used a word like rescission or something like that, but basically means cutting it out of your brain. So brain surgery, and
Right.
it's hard to cut. It's hard to get it all without doing more damage. This the balance there is, how much do you cut versus how much do you damage? Are you
Right.
how much of the tumor are you able to remove versus the damage that you're doing to the patient? And the obviously the side effects of having a portion of your brain removed. But so this treatment is
Mm.
like the quote. There was a quote that had they had gone, something had been like, the lead scientist was called frantically with a that the MRI had showed something very unusual, and this is for the first patient. They'd gone in, and literally within a short order of days, the cancer appeared to be melting, essentially. But basically, what they're doing
Mm.
is they're marshaling the T cell in the immune system. So this is a immune, they call it like
Mm-hmm.
immuno suppression means of attacking cancer, and which is not a new idea. Doctors have been trying to figure out ways to get the body to recognize cancer cells as bad and to
Right.
attack them for decades. But so this says a patient's cells are extracted, modified to produce proteins on their surface called chimeric antigen receptors, and then injected back into the body to target the tumor directly. Three patients
Mm-hmm.
were so that was the other thing. They did it. They were so astonished on the first patient. They monitored and then quickly did a second patient. Same thing happened. Quickly did a third patient. Same thing happened. And then they basically paused the study and wrote up the findings and
Right.
are engaged in a longer term study. But one of the other comments was that they had 18 slots in the study. This was, again, from the New Yorker article. And the author had asked the lead scientist or lead doctor whether all the 18 slots had been filled. And she had said, no, we haven't, because we can only process one patient's data, or it basically takes the full might of their lab to create this enough T cells for the injection for one person at the moment. And so they are only doing
Ah.
one person at a time. So basically,
Right.
they're not. Oh, and then so she says that we can't accept others because the cancer is so aggressive that by the time their turn would come up, that person would be
It
dead. So
might
they
be
have
too
to
late.
wait until they're only, the lab's basically like, what's the next slot? Let's go, grab a fresh candidate.
Right.
So anyway, a lot of like heartbreaking stories for, what are things happening. And then there's also, what's the cost for something like this? You know,
Yeah.
there's no cost for this particular treatment since this is totally in research, but there's other immunotherapy, I think was the word, where the cost for treatments are in the multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
But anyway, okay. So here's back to the article here, or the announcement. It says 3 patients were enrolled in the study between March of 23 and July of 23. Patients' T cells were collected and transformed into the new version of CAR-Team cells, which were then infused back into each patient. Patients were monitored for toxicity throughout the duration of the study. A 74-year-old man had his tumor regress rapidly, but transiently after a single infusion of the new CAR-Team cells. Blood and cerebrospinal fluid from the patient showed a decrease in EFGR 8, and EFGR copy numbers eventually becoming undetectable. A 72-year-old man was treated with a single infusion of CAR-T cells. 2 days after receiving CAR-T, an MRI showed a decrease in the tumor size by 18.5%. By day 69, the tumor had decreased by 60.7%, and the response was sustained for over 6 months. A 57-year-old woman was treated with CAR-T cells and MRI 5 days later after a single infusion of CAR-T showed near complete tumor regression.
Wow.
It says the authors note that despite the remarkable responses among the first 3 patients, they observed eventual tumor progression in all the cases, although in one case there was no progression for over 6 months. So there's again there was lots of information here. They even went and interviewed patient number 2 in the New Yorker, but the early days dosing. Do you need multiple doses? Do you need to have some sort of like there was a comment that they changed the procedures to do I forget what they called it, but basically it was a light chemotherapy at the beginning to suppress the existing. The conjecture was that one of the reasons why their cells didn't weren't found later on, like after a few days or weeks, was that the existing suppression, your immune system was actually attacking the modified T cells. So they are trying to reduce the immune or suppress the immune system for a bit, inject their cells, hopefully have them have better efficacy for longer. So kind of anyway, there's lots of stuff to be figured out here, but I thought this was a great article and a incredibly promising for yet another type of cancer. So
Yeah.
anyway, there you go. My something fun.
Well, I will let you head on with your day. Enjoy your last few days on vacation, and we'll see you when you get back.
All right. Thanks, Eric. I'll talk to you later. Have a great one.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.